Hi, welcome to our webinar brought to you by Headway Learning Solutions in collaboration with the American Center Colombo. Do you know what personal branding is? Join Mr. Perera as he talks about branding and establishing yourself with a future-ready mindset in the corporate world.
So having said that, yes, I think you open up the stage, Susan, Tara, the personal branding and how this personal branding can make a difference to a personality is something that I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you purely on the experience, taking my life experience and my corporate experience and my professionalism all put together to take my brand out and how you could work without a tag and deliver. What is expected out of you is something that I have mastered. So I'll collate everything and take you through a little journey, and I'm sure the audience would benefit in big way, because this is all to do with something that you know, and what you know is something I'm going to ignite for you to think. That's how I'm going to approach, and all of us are given a fantastic instrument. That's where you have this call ahead. And I'm been trying to gain my hair back, but I think my brain is superseding the hairstyles. So I'm trying to manage with what I have inside this instrument. So this is what I'm going to explain humbly. So let me take you through this. And before I again go through this little journey, I need to take this opportunity to thank a few people. I think if Akila is listening, there's a gentleman called Akila who introduced me to Sanjeeva, and that's how I got Susan being connected. And Headway Solutions, I was also fascinated about what you do, and then American Institute, Embassy, all put together. What you're doing is a fantastic thing, because it's a matter of sharing. When you share the knowledge that you have, is something that you receive, and it's a blessing in disguise, is something I believe. So with this, let me start in proper. What I will do is I'm going to take you through a few slides. Through these slides is what I'm going to explain. So I'm going to open up the first slide. Hope you can see me well. Can all of you see? Yes? Right. Susan, am I audible? All clear?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Right. Back. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start this journey. So what I'm trying to tell you is something that you know, something of how you could master your mindset. Now, I was told the audience that I'm speaking to is from the end of the teenage to the mids of the 30s, and then obviously the wagon wheel in which that I enjoy, the 40s, and obviously if there are any 50s, still one thing is in common: our mind is always fresh, and what you put in your mind is something will determine your age, is what I believe. So let's look at this topic today: personal branding, right? Let's keep the personal branding tag aside. But before getting into the personal branding, what you should understand is how effectively you could build a future ready mindset. This is what I'm going to add a lot food for thought in you to digest and see how best you could find a little chemistry in it that can be basically more helpful to you. Building a future ready mindset. Today we live in a situation where three emergencies are really battling. What are these three emergencies? One is called the health emergency, right? The health emergencies today is at unprecedented levels. To this so-called Mr. COVID is adapting faster than we ever think. So we are going to battle this for some time. So we have a challenge. How effectively you manage this challenge is the ability of you understanding and having that future ready mind to combat this. Number two is the climate emergence. Now we have to understand, today the universe in which that we live, the earth planet in which we live, today is battered to the extremes, and we are faced with a lot of climatic challenges. We do not know, we cannot predict anymore tomorrow. And a couple of months back, we recorded the highest temperature ever recorded in this earth. So how future ready you as individuals who could tackle this up? Then number 3, all of us are learning in this process to one day soon work, earn some money. So the business emergence also comes into play. How effectively you manage that business emergence, putting your personality in front, is something that a chemistry that you have to master. Again, if you ask these 3 emergences, for you to tackle it better, you need to have a future ready mindset. If you go in understanding this future ready mindset, is where you will naturally come into a space called entrepreneurialism. How effectively you can build your entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneur. This word is a buzzword. The people who can create businesses are the ones who are entrepreneurs. But imagine if you have that mind for your day-to-day things that you do. These are the minds which are most synced together in building this ecosystem of a future-ready mindset. Today, the future-ready companies need these mindsets. So you need to master it. Right. So what you see here as the first slide is to give you the hope. Let's move on. To come back again. Right. What do you see here? Read this very carefully. All of us have experienced this, but we do not know who is going to rejoice. Okay, let me read this. When all of us were born, we have cried, but we have never realized how deep that cry was until our parents did tell us that you all cried. Probably you would have had some photographs to understand. Without teeth, your mouth is open. Right? There's a pain of celebration that all of us have gone through. Whilst we were crying, there were lots who were rejoicing it. So I would say the world rejoiced. When we cried, the world rejoiced. So now what we have to do is how effectively we live our life until our final day comes. By the way, all of us will one day soon have to leave, right? So that cannot be changed. So effectively, how focusedly we live. And when we die, the world will cry. The relatives of us will cry. And you would have seen, you would have gone into funerals, you would have experienced it. But there is one that scientifically it's said by someone, probably I don't know who has had the connection to the God. But one day we will rejoice his saints. So we do not know. We can predict about future through analytics, artificial intelligence we call about today, all those can predict, but can we predict after we die where we go? Have anyone seen this world of heaven, or, you know, all these places that people say in religions that we will get into? Answer is no. But there's one fact, only all of us will see when that day comes. So it is said that we are going to rejoice. So what is this statement says? What it says is, when you are given a life, you have to live to the fullest potential with a mindset that can drive a future perspectives, future paradigm shifts, lot that others cannot do, that you create, is something the world needs. So if you master this, you are in that threshold of people who are winners, who are creators. And that is what the future ready mindset is. And if you have to go there, there's one thing that you need to do. You need to build, you are your originality, and you need to build your personal brand. So with this, I just gave you a little intro, right, about future ready mindset. And when we cried, we came to the world crying, but we will leave with happiness. When others cry, we will leave with happiness. And in order to have that happiness in this little threshold of life, what we have to do is in our hands. Right. So the next slide is all about a little experience of myself. Right. This is my little story for about 24 years. I'm sure all of you will have your own stories. We respect all human beings. Every individual is different to one another. But how you find the you in you is up to you. And from my school days, I have found some things which I felt that I should share. And these are my traits. And I'm going to take you through one by one. For one reason, hoping that will inspire you. And if you're not done things like what I'm sharing, you could probably do from now in onwards. All right. So I was born to a planter's family. Right? I was bred up with good strict disciplines and a tea family. I got an opportunity to go into a good school. Thanks to my parents, I was at St. Anthony's College, Kandy. A school that produces a lot of individuals who admire discipline. So I was taught self-discipline from my school. I was a hosteler. And from the day I was in hostel, I was taught time management like no other. And I was like so happy to be in hostel, thinking about today's generation, how this time is being managed. And during our times, and this time there's a serious of imbalance. We had a time to get up, we had a time to wash, we had a time to study, we had a time to play. We were properly brought up with that discipline. Imagine from my parents and to go into school, you are automatically programmed. That gave me a lot of time, and I wanted one day to be one of the best all-rounders in the school. So the greatest thing one can achieve in school, irrespective of cricket captain, rugby captain, to be the head prefect of the school. So I was the head prefect for 96, 97 in the school. So I was into more sports. I had a diversity in me of Shakespeare drama, music. So from school days itself, I had a variety, and one tag was in me to realize that I should be an all-rounder. And I wanted from the smallest days to be seen as Charaka Perera. So I had this little knack of, putting my brand in rather than putting other things in forward. They should know me as Charaka Perera. So the easiest thing is, I'm sure, with respects to all of these adults and all, Susan, Tara, when we were in school, I think we are from the other sex, no? So we wanted to impress the girls. So we would like to see which girl will call my name, right? So we were like, trying to market ourselves, right? So I ended up writing some poems, songs, that and this. Had some tractions, all right, but not to my expectations. So what I'm trying to say is, personal brand of you come from school, come from your family. You have a brand. How you could harness this brand and get into the places in which that you want to go, again, is in your hands. And how you could do that is this simple tagline, what you can see here. Walk the talk with an action habit. If you walk with actions and getting the actions to follow, that you have done something with the best interest of the society, best interest of the alma mater you have been in, or whatever the connections that you have, this is what people will look back and, talk to you and then take you as a brand. Right. So number one, I was taught to be self-disciplined. Okay. Second, I did tell you, all-rounder with a master of one, meaning you can be an all-rounder, but you need to position yourself in one. I've been taken and I've been always branded as a global retail expert. Though I sit in a Singapore board at the moment, though I sit in SLT Mobitel in the management, but I'm not using any of those tags. I want to be felt in the hearts of many as a global retail expert. I got an opportunity to work in a Dubai-based company, one of the largest company called Hassani Group of Companies. At around 31 years, I got opportunity to travel to 40 countries. I was given 20 days apart countries to go, set businesses. I was absolutely lucky. These countries taught me culture. These countries taught me how to connect with people. These countries taught me to polish my eyes, to look at things differently, and to connect this eye into subconscious mind and create things that others have not created. So, but with all those things, I was very, very focused to be known as one. That is global retail expert. So I am giving you, all of you who have joined and hearing me, to understand in that context. If there is a person called, say, Charaka Perera in the audience, I'm giving you an example. What is that others should or would like to call you? Dilshan is your name, but what is behind Dilshan? Create that horizon for you. For me, it's global retail expert. Number three, I've been a perfect network player, meaning I'm humble as ever to speak to all human beings. I don't carry pride in me. I consider all humans as one. And Susan and Tara, I need to bring this up. How this entire thing's changed. Well, everyone will have, good side and bad side. Well, I was a bomb victim. In 1999, I was caught in the bomb blast. So I was actually the fifth vehicle driving, and don't ask me how I survived. So it was a miracle. It never happened to me, but I had some blackouts, and I was sent to India. And then I followed the NLP program through with Tomaka. Then I was working for a company called Lion Breweries, so the Carlsberg beer. So they thought that I had something to offer, and they sent me. And that experience taught me lots of things. I'm actually living a bonus life, and what I live now is an absolute bonus life. So anytime I'm prepared to go, that's my mindset. So I live today as my last day. There was a time that I was actually thanking. And I don't, with respect to all of the religions, I don't follow any religion. I love the philosophy of Buddhism. Buddhism teaches you something fantastic. Don't worry about from where you came. Don't worry about where you're going. You've been given a life with a breath. Try to master it. You're given the greatest instrument, the mindset. How you could be intimated with your mindset and get this mind to produce the magic in you. It's up to you. Everyone can do it. So this example and this experience of mine, I've seen the end of it. You know, this picture of the glorified picture changes in split second. I couldn't imagine half a second. It was probably half a second. Blast is a half a second. Right? And within a half a second, imagine the entire thing changes. How many deaths? Right? So that changed me a lot to who I am today. Right? So that's where, you know, the love for the people, be a network player. All of you, one thing, remember, choose your circle. Don't be having wrong circles. It will not going to benefit you. From small days itself, my parents taught me, my school taught. Up until now, I'm speaking to all individuals possible. But I will have my own circle. So I want you also to be in that network player. I'm in the Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, the Expo Committee. I get into so much of network playing and liking the network that I'm now with you all. So this is where you can, you know, have a connection that has paved me. Number 4, placing a performance footprint. Always remember, whatever you do today, your boss or whoever might not see it, but there's somebody who will see it. Don't worry about it. But you have this performance, placing a strong footprint. A lot of people, they talk, they criticize. But if you can do yourself, failing is a part of the journey. Don't worry about it. Right? If you select to perform something, have a little footprint that others can remember you. Focus on that. As of today, I do that effectively. And number 5, well, I'm a musician by myself. I have a great music therapy. From smaller days itself, I've been brought up with music, and I've written more than 80 songs. There are a lot of songs have been sung by good musicians, and some of the theme songs, and there's a new song will come. And what you saw on that first slide, me singing, was a song that we released in Germany. So music therapy, always remember what the music does for you is purely magical. And I'm sure that all of us are listening to music, but how effectively you're listening to music. It's not the tune. And if you really focus on every song, there's a little movie in it. Correct, Tara? There's a little movie in it. And how you connect with that movie is up to you. It's so funny. I have asked few people who have been listening to some, you know, childhood songs. When I asked what is in that song, they couldn't explain this. Right? But every song has something. It's a little movie. Imagine you find that movie and dream, and you know, you have to learn to listen to music. Right? Have that musical therapy. You don't have to do any other mindfulness. Do a musical therapy, your moods, everything will be changed. For everything we are getting, you know, music to echo in us, but we don't have that ability sometimes to, you know, connect with it and live with that tune, you know, focus. It's a little thing. You know, music is something that, you know, you create. Now, if I'm to write, you know, every day I write some, you know, I put some lyrical approaches. So I always visualize something and try to bring this, you know, little picture together fearlessly. And the outcome, when the instruments come in, the outcome is purely magical. So musical therapy. Learn from the backstabbers. Now here you go. All of us in my career up to now, I'm sitting in a board. I was one of the CEOs. Now I'm in senior management. So I have come through that hard life. Right? So I've reached up to this level, and I want to now be an entrepreneur. I'm in that threshold now building up something which I feel will be more beneficial to the society. But when you're doing this, there are people who will put you down. There are people who are called backstabbers. Have you heard of these guys called backstabbers? Right? Right? When you want to perform, there are about 10 to put you down. Sometimes they will smile at your face, say, hi, Susan, hi, Tara. Yeah, just here to support you. Ultimately, you have no idea what they will do. Go behind and cut you, and they are busy in doing that. They will not have a lifelong. They might be serious today, but goes around, comes around. Right? So what you have to do is learn from these backstabbers. The people who have put me down, the people who have cut me in promotions, people who have said, you don't fit to this job, I actually and truly thank them. Because of them only, the next door has opened for me. You always learn from the backstabbers. You have to be happy that there are backstabbers, because if you have a backstabber, that means you are a performer. Remember that. They will backstab you when they feel that you're a threat. So being a threat to someone is also good, because it helps you to become stronger. It's like you're in a war trying to put the enemy down, right? And knowing the enemy in the front, but there are unknown enemies who will put you down. So imagine you're in that, you have little decisions to make. If you do not make that decision, you're gone. But in the cooperating other, that enemy is totally different. That's why we call a backstabber. Right? There are a lot of backstabbers in my career. Even today, there are backstabbers. Now today, I'm a bit mature to manage them. Not in the likes of what they're doing, smiling in the front and go and stab you. But allowing them to stab me. Because I always think, if they're stabbing, okay, what should I do better? You know, I keep on harnessing a knowledge in my subconscious mind. It's like a tree, a full-grown tree with a lot of fruits. When you have a lot of fruits in the tree, what happens? The tree naturally bends and it looks very heavy. So that's exactly what you should do. You have to have a lot of knowledge, gather it, park it behind, right? And knowledge is always power. So learn from the backstab. Be an extrovert, an opportunity sniper. Always when you get up in the morning, see what is that you can do different to others. Be an opportunity sniper. You have heard about the sniper. You see what others cannot do. You see others cannot basically have a, complete blind eye. There's 267 participants as of now. Why you, all of us today with you have joined is to see that there's something that I want to learn. So you're learning from a person that have seen something different. So you have made that dedication because you see this as an opportunity to you. So I thank you for coming. Entrepreneurial blue ocean creator, meaning I did spell about the entrepreneurial mindset. When you have this entrepreneurial mindset, it's about building novelty in you. That will help you as a business game plan we always speak about, called blue ocean creation. Blue ocean is, if you go and look at the ocean, you've seen a large horizon where you don't see that much of barriers. Imagine you have a business that you have created and you don't have that much of competition. Guys like Elon Musk, guys like Richard Branson, guys like Jeff Bezos, Amazon, they all have been having this blue ocean mindset. They have created businesses where others couldn't even even imagine. Walt Disney is a classic example. He dreamt of others who wouldn't have even thought of. But the saddest part is, before the opening of the Disneyland, he died. But his wife said, "This is for you." He died and he has enjoyed it already. So this is the exact mindset that you need to have. Lastly, work without tax. It has really helped me. I've been always working without a tag behind me. I don't like to be called as a CEO, but personal branding is to find the CEO in you. What is the CEO? It's a buzzword, right? Chief Executive Officer. Why the CEO word has come is you are the leader, to give a tag, because all of us wants to come one day, get into a business, either be an entrepreneur, CEO, or a CEO to somebody else, right? So find the CEO in you, how you could be. So this is, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, my little story that I have practiced up to date. I'm going steady and I'm getting stronger. And I want you also to think that way. This will help you to build up your brand. Now, if you really look at me here, right? I was a head prefect. So I'm just putting, if you can focus onto the right-hand side here. Sorry, I'm left-hand side. I'm an expert in brands. I'm an expert in marketing, distribution, exports, imports, retail. I'm a lecturer. I'm a channel specific. I'm in the telecom. I'm a speaker, advisor, corporate. I've done sports. I still run. Consultant, energy. I've gone into energy sections. So I've been exposed in manufacturing, entrepreneurship, songwriter, composer, international business strategy. So this is me. If you go just Google Charaka Perera or go to YouTube, you could see most of the things there are and all. So I want you also to think this way. And what I like most is to produce music. Sorry. What I like most is to produce music. And I'm more of a Bob Dylan style. I play with the harmonica, guitar, and you can see here. So I've done great music. And you can see here, the best is to go to school and find your name in the head prefect board. So I want you to think through, this is just a little bit of me. Well, I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm happy of what I have found in me. Only thing I couldn't find my hairstyle. I had a hairstyle, all right, but I just can't figure it out how I get it. I'm sure that, having no hair is also good. But having said that, I found some chemistry in me. I wanted to create a brand out of me. I want all of you to think this way. There is a brand. You have a brand. You're much, much stronger than me. How you could bring the you out of you is totally in your hands. This is a little story of mine. I want them to see me in this, and that's why reason I was invited to speak to you. So I have a silent personal brand. My hands are very clean. Right? I don't have dirt, and that's the best one could have in the society. And have this little smile to be connected. People will always respect you. So this is about little to give you an inspiration on personal brand. Now I'm going to give you a little mantra. These are the things that you need to do. I would say this is your prescription, right? Sorry, this is your prescription. Right, this is your prescription towards a personal brand, towards building a personal brand. All right, number one, all of us have this thing called a monkey mind. We have a monkey mind in our mind. What do you call this monkey mind? We are like monkeys sometimes. Don't ask me in which situation that we become monkeys. Definitely not with our partners. It's a different experience. That's not a monkey. Right? So here, this monkey mind is like, imagine that you've been given a chance to become like a monkey. What I like in the monkeys, jump from one tree to the other tree, you have a lot of agility in you. But the mind is crowded. They don't have focus. And look the way they behave. They will do anything what comes into their mind. So all of us have this little thing called a monkey mind. So how can we come out of this monkey mind? Practice mindfulness. You have to be brutally focused. How you could be brutally focused is by practicing self-discipline. What is self-discipline? Is managing time, carry yourself with pride, keep your chest steady, have a very steady walk, smile with everyone, right? And now girls, don't worry that, you end up smiling with the wrong person and getting into a problem. But it's not that smile I'm saying about, but it's a different smile to show that you're confident. And you have to know, the girl should know, the guys try the different moves. You should have that ability to understand. So that will be basically identified when you come out of this monkey mind. So cure your monkey mind. If you cure your monkey mind, it will give a lot of focus. This is your prescription to become the you in you and to build up a personal brand. Number 2, be a person of your word. If you say something, respect it and action on it. Talk is cheap if you do not action it. From all the talk you do, if you have no action, it's a criminal offense for me. So from all talk, no action, to all action to yes talking is what you should do. Right? Number 3, build your past with your mistakes. All of us, accept the fact we have done a lot of mistakes. If you ask me, I've done a dozen of mistakes, and I'm happy because I was anyway a risk taker. The more risk you take, more mistakes that you come, and all of these mistakes have helped me to bring or build the wisdom in me, for me to see things quite differently, quite futuristically. The sadness is when you find one day that you have not taken the risk that you want and you're repenting. Imagine that situation. If you get that situation, you'll be crying. So be risk taker. From today onwards, change your mindset. Do whatever you want, but don't, when you say do whatever, don't try to, go near the bridge and jump and say that I'm taking the risk. If you are not, studied of, how to swim and, float around, good luck for you. You can immediately go to that next world with choice. So risk taking is basically, right? It is all about having that mindset, fearless mindset. I'm naturally fearless because I always believe that I have a bonus life. This is like a bonus life. And I escaped death twice. The second one was when I was in Kenya. I would have heard there is this Westgate Mall attack where the terrorists come and stormed and killed about 68 to 70 people. I just came out and then onboarded the flight. If you ask me, the gap was about 20 minutes. So I would have been, either I would have been a Sri Lankan hero there, I have no idea. Either I would have been somewhere else, but these are all very, very close calls, right? And there was another one where I was in Kenya. When you go in Kenya, one day, if you get a chance to go to Kenya, you end up eating a lot of meats. I got a bacteria infection. So, but now I think I can eat a lot of meat because I believe that my metabolism has supported. So what I'm saying is take risk. And always remember, parents will guide you. But when you have that little confidence, you need to find that out. But always find this right circle to do that risk taking. If you go with the wrong people, you're gone forever. So it's ability that you need to find. Number 4, expand your limited knowledge that astonishes you. Remember, genius. Have you heard about this genius? Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. 99% sweat is what genius is all about. Take Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Edison, 1093 patents. He was living a life where he has expanded his limits, knowledges that he has gone in connecting to things that others have not seen, has astonished him. And then he became the genius of what he has created. But it was only 1% inspiration. How many times he failed in making the bulb? Number 5, get behind people's eyeballs. Now, what I'm saying is you need to build the trust in the relationship. If you're looking at a person, go behind the eyeball. Now, don't try to do different and don't try to look at something different and getting into trouble. So I'm not talking about those. Looking at the eyeballs is like, don't say that today we found, a speaker coming and saying, looking at the eyeballs, there's certain magic, and don't try to use this quote and getting into trouble. If you can build that relationship, all right, but not beyond that. So what happens is if you train yourself to go behind the eyeballs and to go behind the perspectives in which that other individual has brought themselves up, what happens? It connects you so strong. Number 5, unleash your talents. You need to find your talent. If you do not find your talent, what happens is you will just live. Do you like to just simply live for the sake of living? I would say that what you have to do is you need to simply, rather than you simply living, you need to transform from simply living to truly living. Rather than you simply thriving, you need to truly thrive. Don't just move with the wind. We have been given a lot of things, lot forces. The soul, the connects. Don't. If you try to understand this, you will go berserk. But we have one of the best souls. All of us are different. They all want to see the best out of us. You have to make that call. It's your thought that determines your performances. It's your thought that will determine your personal brand. Right? Think in these angles. If you do that, there's so much that you can, bring out of you. 7, talk to yourself. Always remember, find some time. One day, I have tried this. One day or a couple of days I spend without a watch. Now, don't say that I don't, now people actually, don't take watches because you have the phone. But what I'm saying is don't look at the clock. If you program yourself, naturally the world and all, do this 1 day, 2 days. You'll be feeling amazed. You will have a great control of yourself. Next, live a life. Remember, all of us will have different roads towards our ultimate destination. The ultimate destination for all of us is death. We will have to die one day. We don't know at what time. But it is not that we take different roads to death. You have to set a goal. And to that goal, you might have a lot of roads. The ability to find that road and live a life is in your hands. Now, all of our parents, who has created us, just go back and, there are good parents, bad parents, well, respect them. But they have had the hardest of the times, bring us up. And we have to continue in doing that. And live a life where others will remember you. Share the knowledge. Sharing is always something that you'll be blessed. Thou shall you receive. Right? The next, I always say, I have been always, living as this was my last day. Having a living funeral is something, don't get upset about this funeral word coming into you. But imagine if you live every day as this is your last day. It's like living a funeral. Imagine you have only this day to do everything. Naturally your body will come. I tried a lot of things in LP. I'm sure that a lot of fitness fanatics are there in audience. I wanted to one day to really see what my potential is. I thought, okay, dips is good, so I do some days. I wanted to find out whether I can do 110 dips at one go. And up until now in the morning, sometimes I do 100 dips. 10 is a bit tough. 100 dips at one go. It's all in your mind. Mind is something, if you have done martial arts and all, you find out it's a mind fitness. So this mind fitness and all will come if you think that today is your last day. You have to push your limits. If you are in military and all, how they train you, the fitness that you have in your military is something, it's an investment that you will do. Which all of us will have had this military training. We become different human beings. Next, respect your instincts. All of us have an inner voice. There's something that we, if somebody says do this, we say, no, ourself is not letting it go. And we might talk to the friend, we might talk to others. Remember one thing, none of these people can decide your destination. It is only you. Always listen to your inner voice. If the inner voice says something, you go action it. Don't worry. Even if you fail, you're not going to die. When I had all the luxury, I took a call to come to Sri Lanka. When I was a CEO, I wanted to do different things. Certain things didn't happen my way. I did the best call I could really satisfy to date. So get into this Singapore-based, retail. So I created a lot of supermarkets today. A lot of gourmet marts, that and this. I'm building something. So I'm so happy of the space that I've gone into. All this is because of the instincts that I've got. All of us have this instinct. So how effectively you can find these instincts is up to you. Again, I repeat, finally, become your own CEO of life. First, you understand when you become a chief executive officer is what? You own a space where you control. You own a space where you have a platoon under you, where you can direct. You are in a space where you can create, think, and you look up. You don't find that many barriers. That is personal branding. So finding the CEO of you is your personal brand. So this is your prescription. Clear? Right. So let's go. What does this say? How high you will rise in life will be determined not by how hard you will work, but how well you think. It's your thought processes will allow you to be the person that you want to be. Failure is a state of mind. Imagine you change this state of mind. Victory, celebrating victory is a state of mind. And state of mind, the food for state of mind is. So how well you're mastering your thoughts is something. It's in our hands. Right. Right. So let me now take you to a different, completely different. So up to here, I was giving you a lot of food for thought for you to build your personal brand. Find the you in you and build some chemistry that others do not have. If you do those, you will come into space where you can very proudly one day, speak to an audience of how I'm speaking. Because I speak with a lot of passion and courage, because what I've gone through 24 years in corporate life. Well, I'm 44 now. Not that bold enough to say my age, but this is something that I've come in my mind. So all these have helped me. So build the personal brand in you. You don't have to be a celebrity. It's just that in the society, they should know as to who you are, whether you have been a clean person, you have done some things different, a creator. Right. So herein onwards, with the best interest of time, I'm going to take you through a journey. Now, let me ask you to remove the cap of personal branding aside, right? And wear this cap, a future-ready mindset in a business context. If you have been given to work in a company, what you should do as individuals is something that I'm taking you through. I'm giving you some essential secrets. And I would put this in 5 pillars. Pillar number 1, build a triple bottom line mindset. Now, don't get confused with these words. If you are not, gone into a boardroom, where are the cap of a boardroom now? Go Google and check as to what this boardroom is. Where is this boardroom? What are they doing in this boardroom? Is it a place like where you could enjoy a nice honeymoon? Well, answer is no. It's a completely different place. Don't make a boardroom into a honeymoon. But you need to understand first where this boardroom is. So if you want to go into a boardroom, you need to, from today onwards, have a 3 bottom line mindset. If you can do this now as youngsters, one day if you get a chance to manage a business, definitely if the boss knows that you are knowing this better than him, he will cut you. But go back again and find this little thing of backstabbers, always give us an opportunity. So that's okay, let them cut, but this knowledge is the strongest that you will have. So profit bottom line. Okay, before coming into the bottom line, so if you go in to take a sales job, right, you get the sales revenue. So that is called the top line. So the line in number 2, line after sales and marketing, right? So forget about all those things, don't get into this jargon. So only go and focus on the yellows, top line, the revenue. Then you find the bottom line where you get the profit. If you go to average boutique, go to the neighbor's boutique and check and ask this boutique owner, how do you do sales? They will say, okay, I'm selling goods and I'm getting a revenue. Then ask him, what is your net profit? That profit is where they will invest in the upbringing of their family. So top line and profit bottom. There's another line that you need to know, that is future ready mindset. It's called the topmost line. And we call in marketing and business strategy called consumer franchise. You need to build blue oceans. If you are in a company, you need to see what is that wow factor in your company, in your product that others do not have. That is another future ready mindset that you need to inbuild. So that I call it as the topmost line. So take this 3 bottom line approach. Clear? Right. The next. Now don't get confused. Right. So this is like what you see here is like, have you played Monopoly in you? I'm sure that you would have played the Monopoly as a game. This is the Monopoly in business. I'm asking you to play Monopoly in actual form. Right. So there are 4 quadrants here. Now, if you want to pursue of earning money, you will have only 4 ways to earn money in business. You can be an employee. Right? Meaning you will learn all what I'm saying, or you can do a course and all those. So employment is you take an active income, hard work, you work like a mad dog. There's no security, anytime they can take you out. No time for others, you begin complaining. So you're running a rat race. Now you're in this wheel. So you keep on running, you don't know where you will end up. That is employment. So all of us there. I'm not. I moved into some other quadrant, so I'll let you know. Then you find a thing called a self-employment. Self-employment is you own your job. It's like our, rickshaw drivers, the three-wheeler drivers. They have a three-wheeler when they want to, earn some money. They start the three-wheeler, they go, and when the moment they give a lift and they get some money, that is self-employed. You can combine these together. If you're a doctor, say example, you practice in the government hospitals, you get a permanent income. But if you do the private consultation, you have other income. So I might be here, I might be employed. I have my self-employment. And here is where you come into a place where you have freedom. And if you see this here, one side is, you can see 95% of the people are here, but they have only 5% of the wealth. I'm saying from left two quadrants to shift into the right quadrant. This is where your kind of personal brand and future mindset will come. Be an owner of a business. If you become an owner of a business, is where you build up something for you. Now today, after COVID, a lot of people have gone in this direction, right? They have been battered by these two, and they want to build up something on for their survival, so on. So imagine that you are in this space. So what happens here is others are working for you instead of you are working for someone else. If you are an employment, you are working for someone else and you're getting an income. But if you are a business owner, you have a freedom with your mindset that you're building with what I've taught you, and others are working. And finally, is being an investor like Warren Buffett, where the money starts to work for you. This is the ultimatum that I personally want to be in. So I was here, I have a footprint here, I have a footprint here, and I'm going to have a footprint here. So I'm going to I've been this in a little way. But imagine you are trying to bring some money and put into property like Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki and all of these people. This is where the freedom is. Today, only 5% are in this. All of the richest are in this. They are called the capitalists, the dropouts in school. That's how this universal law is. Whoever has not done the education properly, dropouts are today the billionaires in the righteous way. So 5% of people are in here, and 95% of the wealth is handled by 5% of the people in the world. Today, richest, you do the counting. So imagine how these are the gospel truths that you have to find in and so now this is called a cash flow quadrant. This is the monopoly. I'm asking you to play the monopoly in real terms. If you do that, you will be something completely different. And how you do this is by having that future ready mindset. One, and two is by having that future ready mindset. Okay, right. Here again, this is a bit of a confusing, you might be wondering what this is all about. I am asking you to only concentrate on this triangle over here. What this triangle says is, in business, there are 8 integrities. All the business are in these 8 integrities is what I found out. There's a team in a company. There's a leadership team in a company. They have a mission, not the vision. Vision is somebody has written. Mission is something you're driving the mission every day. You as a team, you're going towards that vision. How you are going there is something that you do day in and out. So this is the 3 deep shields that you have in the triangle. But what you have inside is something you do and you have in your companies that you work. If you're working, you have the cash flow, you have to communicate. There's a cash is needed. You have to communicate. There are systems. Legal document is something decides your business, and you have a product. So this is called the 8 integrities. Now in these 8 integrities, how you can bring a future-ready mindset and disrupt the way in which others do is what all of you can do. Right? This is what I say. If you do and follow this, you will have an unfair advantage than the others, where you can use this to your goal cascading and to be looked at as a person who's completely superior than others. And the personal brand, if you are thinking of coming up, these are the 8 integrities you're left with. If you go to study with all those, you will be confused, but you have to do it, because the more you get confused, the better you will come out of the exams. But exams are all by-hearted, done and come. They'll give you the gateway to the places that you want to be at. But experience and you learning the hard way, there's always common sense. I want you to think in that perspective. If you do that, you have an unfair advantage. So this is what it says. Right. Now here we go. This is something important. This is pillar number 4. Right. I have given you about 5 pillars. This is pillar number 1. Triple bottom line mindset. Pillar number 2. Be a player in the cash flow quadrant. I would say be a player in the monopoly in real. Monopoly game in real. Pillar number 3 is called the BI triangle. Right? This is called the business to investment, or the investor. Business to investor quadrant. If you want to build up a business and you want to get money working for you, this is called a little triangle that you need to focus. This is pillar number 3. So pillar number 4. Again, I'm coming in to address a little bit of your mindset. The magic of thinking big. If you do not know how to think, how to use your brain, how to use your mind, how to train your mind to look at things differently, you are not doing that many justice to you. Right? So number 1 is how to think big. So why I'm saying this is, first, before thinking, you need to do some little things. So I'm asking you to do a little thing. If you want to take some footnotes, please do. This is a very important chemistry that I have found. If you can buy this book, David Schwartz, The Magic of Thinking book, this has really helped me a lot. Some of the extracts are from them and some of the extracts are from my experience. Always associate the people who have got that big thinking vocabulary. There are people who are naturally having this. So you need to always associate those people. If you associate with the right people, you also try, you'll also dream big, and you will naturally start to think big. There are few people in your life have helped. Go back for this moment, go back and find that people who have already given you a little boost. There are a lot of people, as I speak to all of you, have given a little edge, has given a little help, and we respect those people. Today, for me to come up to this level, there are a lot of people have helped, and those people had this vocabulary, a big thinking vocabulary. They would have thought things differently. They have seen things differently. That's number 1. Number 2, dream creatively. Now, people do end up dreaming notorious things. Please do continue, but you have to dream creatively. Failure and capacity are state of mind. I did mention this to you. So find the intelligent shortcuts and always dream to be first class. Ability to dream creatively. Now, for me, how that mechanism works, find that. If you want to, draw some pictures, I love drawing using the pencil. But more than that, I've been a songwriter. That has really helped me to, dream very creative. And oxygenation in the mornings, right? I do run, right? I'm not boasting about myself. I'm happy about, I'm sure that there are friends in this who know. I do run about 10 kilometers. That's just to keep my fitness. And more than that, it gives a lot power of stamina to you. When the mind is open with great oxygenation, you naturally dream creative. Number 3, make your environment. You don't have to go into other people's environment. You make your own environment. This is something big thinkers do. Build your psychological sunshine in you. Own your conscious environment. Don't go into other environment and complain on the environment. Environment is in your hands. You can own your environment. Make your attitude your allies. Put service first and money will come later. Attitude determines the place that you want to go. It's attitude that I will look in every individual if I'm recruiting, not what they have come in the qualifications. Qualifications for me is secondary. Qualifications will open up your mind. But when you speak to that person, that language, attitude, go-getting, that's what matters. And think right toward people. Basically, that's exactly what I'm saying. You know, you have to be felt like a person whom others can lift you and go, basically, not for other things, right? To be very likable, you know, the tone of your voice. These are the big thinkers, or if you are to achieve that state of thinking big, these are the traits some people should have. Grow the action habit. Be an activationist. Be a doer. Idea is only valued when it's implemented, right? Otherwise, ideas are not that important. Ideas are, everyone will have ideas. We might talk about ideas, but only when it's implemented is where the real value comes. I'm repeating the same thing, turning the defeat into victories. Then persistence through experiential experimentations. Stay with your goal. Failure is a setback, and failure is always will give you a better opportunity. It'll open up a door, but keep your focus, perspiration, put your sweat. Then ultimately what happens is you will turn all your defeats into victories. Use your goal to help grow. Always remember the goal. What you said early in the morning, if you can take a piece of paper, plan your day, find your goal setting, you will be somewhere where others cannot get into. Finally, think like a leader. All of us have leadership qualities. If you can take a little mic or close the door, I think most of the guys are very, very free when we are in the shower, right? Build the, you know, when we are only place we can be naked probably, right? With respect to all, you know, be in the washroom. You just go into your, you know, mirror, right? Talk to yourself. All of us are humans and all of us have the same, you know, things around us. But build the leadership, be fearless. And if you can do that, you know, wise man always masters his mind. A fool will always be its slave. Trade minds with the people who can always give that little value addition. That's pillar number 4. Now before I get into pillar number 5, I want you to read this. There are no real failures in life. If somebody says there are failures, no, it is all only results, because you have, that has helped you to come into somewhere. Only thing is, if you try to cry and live with it, is where you become a failure. There are no true tragedies, only lessons. Have you heard about that? Tragedies are all lessons. But if that tragedy is costly, you will not live here. You would have been in somewhere else. There are no problems, only opportunities. All problems out there, it can be a problem for me, but it can be an opportunity to someone else. So world is waiting you to be recognized. So when are you going to make that call? I just want you to do this today. Bring the you in you, build up your personal brand, then you will come into a place where others wouldn't have even thought of coming. Right. So with this, the final segment is called a blue ocean. I want you to just understand this blue ocean, what this blue ocean is all about. Imagine you're sailing or you're in a ship. You're in this deck looking at the waters here. What do you see? You don't find anything. You just find only the water. Now today companies are in the blue ocean, trying to create a lot of blue oceans, meaning there are no competition. Blue ocean is a place that you have some differentiation in your product portfolio to business to whatever, that you will have an edge than the others. And the money will start to work for you. So blue ocean strategy, these are all different, little bit of a extreme jargons, but I want you to understand this, because it's better to keep these thoughts in back of your mind. One day when you go into higher studies, learning masters, if you're done, you would have understood this, right? Blue oceans is all about creating uncontested market spaces. Basically, you're building up businesses, whereas the competition will take some time to come in. And you're trying to make the competition irrelevant, because the technology and niche that you are doing, patent, and all others cannot copy. Bill Gates of Microsoft, perfect example for how many decades it is sustained. Create a capture, right? You always create, when you are in a blue ocean strategy, what happens? The demand will just fall into. There are great cases that I can, quote here, but it's not a marketing class, but for you to understand how this entire thing works, right? So the line, what happens is, in a nutshell, blue ocean is something that you need to have. So have your blue ocean mind. If you have a blue ocean mind, it will add for your personal brand. You can proudly say, I just carry a blue ocean mind. Keep this, take this vocabulary, read some things that others do not carry in your vocabulary. People will look up to you. Do some things what others cannot even think of. Dress yourself well, carry yourself well. This is blue ocean. Right. So I want you to focus on this little slide. All of us are in Sri Lanka, all of us are in the red ocean. For 70 years, we have been in the red ocean. Only colors have changed, but we are still fighting each other. We are also trying to get into this space. We might have a guaranteed funeral if you are in this space. Now, why you all got into, today, listening to me and, getting into these programs, beautiful programs by the Headway Solutions, to see whether we can come out of this red ocean to a blue ocean. How we could first create a blue ocean within ourselves to create new market spaces in the companies that we work in. So this migration is very important, right? So this is exactly a shift that you have to do from today onwards. Don't be here. Everything what you do, if you can think the way I'm thinking, the Sri Lanka can be a better place. Nationally, they will recognize you. There are a lot of things. It's a state of mind. And if you do this and whatever you see, others cannot see because they are busy fighting each other. Avoid conflicts. Choose your battles. Build your creative space. Have your own notion in your mind. Now, these are the guys who have created this new market space. These are the guys who are living their life today. Now, these three gentlemen are today have made their own vehicles to spaces. Tesla is, we all laughed good old days that, when the electric cars, we never thought that today is a norm. Today, by 2025, Europe is trying to migrate fully into electric cars. Today, all the leading brands are getting into electric cars. Who created? A blue ocean Tesla created. Elon Musk. Take Amazon today. Where are we, this Amazon? The gentleman started the e-commerce. He started with what? Just selling books. Converted the books into e-commerce platform. And today he's buying brick and mortar stores and creating fresh marts using the technology. Virgin. See this buzzword of Virgin, where this Virgin today is. He keeps on creating. It's a fun loving, and I've been, fascinated about Virgin stores going into Dubai and all. There's so much. Needless to explain about Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. These are the guys who have changed the world. Airbnb, another great case study. They don't own any single hotel in the world, but they have the largest marketplace for reservations. These are the guys who are changing. You can be one of those. It's itching in you. And all of these guys are dropouts, right? And Steve Jobs, right? He didn't have food, and a little temple has helped him to give him food. So they've gone through their hard lives, right? So all these people have performed at their lowest level. So you have that within you. I'm trying to be there, and I want you also to think that something is there for us. Find that out. So what happens in a red ocean is you be within, you differentiate and try to, lower the cost and fight. This is a little bit of business. But if you come into a very blue ocean approach, you're always trying to do things with a low cost, high differentiation, and a place that others cannot even imagine. Right. So these are all, again, right, just to give you an endorsement of, go to the places where others have not even thought of. Build the blue ocean mindset. And what you have to do is take this little quadrant, put this into 4 colors. You think whatever you want to eliminate in you, and even in the company that you're working, what you have to reduce in the company that you're working, what you have to reduce in you, what you have to raise in you, and what you have to create in you. This applies to you and the places in which that you work. You can take a little picture, right, and try to fill this up. I'm going to fill Sri Lanka in it and then give you an explanation moving forward. Now, Sri Lanka, we are all in this islanders mentality. We have a commodity mindset. We want to sell everything in gunny bags. So we want to eliminate that. Only when we come out of this to value additions is where we can be even dream of Singapore. 70 years before we were there, thanks to the politics and politicians all put together. I wouldn't say them as individuals, but the reform systems fundamentally have got it wrong. But today we are trying to go there. But hopefully, let's see. But still, we have a lot of challenges. We are always depending on the government. So we need to take that tag on. I'm talking this as an example of Sri Lanka. We want to raise the new technology. Sri Lanka is a blessed island with natural capital. We want to have foreign JVs and world leaders to come in. Today, China, one belt, one route. So this is just to give an idea what to eliminate, what to reduce, what to raise and create. I want you to think in these quadrants and build something for you. This is basically a little bit of depth study, but I don't want you to just go through in it. But remember, in all what we do, we have in a business, we have soon to be non-customers. They are not happy. They are not going to build up your brand. Right? Some are refusing to be your customers. Some are refusing to be non-customers, meaning they want to be your loyal customers. Some customers are unexplored. Why I'm bringing this is, if you are working in a company, if you have a future-ready mindset, you need to think differently. But if I word this in differently, you will understand it. But I want to bring some little words to see it's the same language you speak. Right? So this is exactly how your mindset should be. Always remember, look at the way and add the little things that others do not see. Add a little bit of a flavor. In this way, your mind will support you. Right. So this is again to give you a little bit of thing. Right. So here also I will not go. Okay, finally, what I want to tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, I just took you through these 5 pillars. I took you through a little endorsement of how the entire process works of building up your personal brand. And what I like about this Norman Cousin's tagline, the tragedy of life is not death. All of us will die, but what we let die inside of us while we live. Thank you. Susan, all to you. Tara, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. I am sure that, I was busy taking down notes while you were speaking, so sorry about the delay. So I'm sure that everyone was able to pick up something and also remember, it's about, like Mr. Charaka said, look for the opportunities, be an opportunity sniper. And I'm very happy that we had around 200 of you who were able to see the opportunity and come and join us today. So I believe we have shared the link for your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. This helps us actually serve you better, right? So please do take the time to go into the feedback form and give us your feedback. And I think we are ready to start taking in the questions, isn't it, Tara? Tara, I'm sorry, I think you're on mute. I can't hear you. All right, looks like Tara is on mute, but let me go ahead and start out with a question. So thank you to everyone who was sending in your questions throughout the presentation. I'll be very happy to put it across to Mr. Perera. So the first question that actually came on the very beginning is, we were talking about entrepreneurship. So this participant had actually asked us whether you could define what the word entrepreneurship meant.
Well, entrepreneurship basically has different approaches to it to explain this and define. But how I'm going to explain this and answer this person in the most simplest of the forms. Entrepreneurship is something that you create. There are others have not even thought of getting into. So basically you create a place where this can convert it into a little business, where the others will work for you to achieve your dream. So that is called entrepreneurship. Having entrepreneurial mindset is you've been having that ability to create something where others can follow with you and carry out a journey. So this is the simplest way I can explain, because if you really go to explain the definition, right, entrepreneurialism is like, entrepreneur is like, you build up your own business, right? And where others can work for you is entrepreneurship, but it is more than that. First of all, it's the ability to think entrepreneurial, where you are thinking something where others cannot think, of creating a business. And most of the time, Tara and Susan and all of the gentlemen or ladies are there. Most of the times, these people have, thought of entrepreneurship when they have probably lost their jobs. They have been asked to leave, when they're at the lowest point, because they have no other way to start up something. And ultimately, by accident, they come there and they become absolutely successful. Today, you take those stories. Even in Sri Lanka, there are great stories like this. So in summary, it's about creating your own business to your own ability and to your own vision, where others have never even thought.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to have your comments on nepotism and favorism in the corporate world, sir.
Well, Tara, it's a very subjective, question. Sometimes, very difficult to ask. Well, what I'm saying, let me put it in this way: never be a shadow to anyone, right? Just be yourself. If they're given you a place and then give you a space to work, just understand the job description. You've been ultimately evaluated only in the job description. I've done mistakes. I've done trying to do more things apart from the job. and to see whether people will favor me. Ultimately, that favorism is very, very short-sighted. You will end up with a guaranteed funeral. Only coffin is missing. Right? So I would say, in order to avoid the favorism and all those, understand your job role and focus on your job role. Whilst you're doing this, if you perform with your what they ask you to do, they have to promote you, they have to reward you. But if you try to do apple polishing, do other unnecessary favors to your boss and others, right? You will not have a long. The moment that tag goes, you are exposed. Then others will come and eat you. So the favorism and all, I'm saying in the first place, avoid this. And take your professionalism in. And professionalism is something that all will respect you. Yeah, that's my answer.
Thank you, sir. I think someone was very inspired by your story, Mr. Perera, and I have an interesting question for you.
Right,
what
please.
inspired you to start your own company or brand? Was it because of a bad boss, bad experiences such as employees? So very, I think this person is very interested in your life stories, and what is your take on it?
I think it's a mixture of all, Susan. I've had very, very bad bosses, right? They were like, talking in front of me and asking me, saying that you would be promoted to a director. Ultimately, they're the ones who went and cut me also. So I have seen the bad side of the corporate life. I wanted to end the corporate life now or never. Otherwise, I would have still enjoyed, being the CEO in a company. I wanted to be the CEO in myself. And then I wanted to build up a company, which I'm building now, Seafood Experiences. So, and I've been building up a complete brick and mortar, right, with a lot of investments coming. So we will be taking to a different level. And I'm partly an advisor to the Seychelles government on retail. So my specialization is retail. So when you know that your know-how is retail, you can build up a space on your own. When you're expert in your retail, a lot of companies are asking you to come and work for you. But one thing I told them, I am least bothered about designations. I'll come into the senior management drive, and that's the only reason that I'm in a company today, one of the best companies to be in is Thermometer. But I don't want to talk about that a lot. But I want to talk about the retail experts. If I can build some, places where others can come and experience on the retail format, that's exactly what I want to do. And I have once working for Cargill's Food City, heading the marketing, so I understood retail, right? And then even companies of, overseas, going into all of the countries, I've seen a lot of formats. And I was in London for 6 months studying retail. So I'm more of a person who has got fascinated about retail, passionate about retail. So when you have all those, why you are just wasting time working for someone else? Was my, inner instinct. So in all of these companies, to that dear friend who has raised the question, it's very sad. You will find politics, and nobody's teaching politics, Susan. Nobody teaches politics in, there is no subject for corporate politics. Different politics are there outside. You know what they are doing now, so I don't have to mention, right? So imagine if you don't understand that politics, and we are not even, there is no way we can understand the politics inside the corporate. But guaranteed, if you are a performer, they will not allow you to be a performer. Who are the people who are today in the, the good hot seats, with respect to all of those individuals, not the creators. Most are not fit to be in that locations or positions, right? They have been found a way to cut someone and get. So this is what's happening in the corporate life. So I'm fearless to talk the blatant truth. But I'm telling you, all of these individuals who are there, who wants to carry, and please understand there is some, different environment there. But how you could withstand that is something that you have to have that ability. Emotionally, it's a different science altogether. You can. So I'm asking you to go through that, right? It took me 24 years to go through that and then make this decision. So I'm anyway in all I'm not saying I'm still in a corporate. I'm self-employed and I'm building something on my own also. So this is the best way to do. Only thing is I need to go into that last quadrant to be an investor, because the money will work for you. Imagine when you are in retirement, when the money just comes into your bank, you just relax and enjoy. That's exactly what I want to do. Hopefully mind is big. Let's see. With your blessings, I should be there.
Thank you, sir. Tara, I believe we have another question.
Yes, yes, we do. Is there such a thing as being overconfident, sir? What do you think?
Well, to be overconfident is a good sickness to be in, right? It's not a bad sickness. So but what happens is you need to apply the overconfidence in the righteous way. You know, when you try to do too many things of having overconfidence, you will definitely fail. How you manage the overconfidence? You being confident is the best ability one could have. Overconfident is you're not paying attention to it. That's why it has become overconfident. But for me, the terminology overconfident is good because you're overconfident and you know exactly you're going to win. That is overconfident, number one. But if you have a failure overconfident, is what you're not paying attention to detail and you're trying to go in a different direction with your confidence without paying attention to detail. If you sort that out, overconfidence is the best thing to be. Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And one more question, sir. So we were talking about, some of the things that could actually bring out your self-brand. And one thing was to be an extrovert. So what happens to the introverts, sir? Maybe that's a little bit of a difficult question over there. But what happens if you are an introvert by nature?
Well, there are a lot of people, first we have been introverts before we became extroverts, right? So how to connect with the introvert, right? And all of us, imagine the first day we've been given mic to go and stand and deliver speech. Susan, can you remember those days? Tara, right? I don't know. Even for me,
yes,
I was like
indeed.
I was seeing a lot of stars, and I don't know, that first day was a terrible day. That is being introvert. So all of us have the introvert, is that fearness. So what you have to do is, easiest thing is go to your room, lock it, right? And then try to talk to, you, and then try to talk to the mirror or get your best friend. The best, you need to find a person. I always say in life, there are mastermind alliances. You need to find about 3 people who will be with you, who will die with you. That ability, very difficult to find. It took me about 24 years to find those people, right? So if you find that, you can be yourself, right? Share the introverts that you have, the sicknesses, and all of us can, Susan. It's just that it's a state of mind. Introvert is a state of mind. You have to come out of it. And remember, all of us were introverts before becoming extroverts. So it's just that, bridge, you need to come out of that bridge. So in order to do that, you just have to, address it with your mind. Yeah. I'm saying them to, try to sing a song. Can be the most flattest way, but try to sing a song, right? Take a mic and sing. And people say that they have talent and all, talent is something people all have, but yeah, music also, it's ability to see and, hear it. It just have to come. And, but try to sing a song. And when you do that, at least it will break your shackles. You need to break your glass ceiling. No sooner you do that, rest is autopilot, Susan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So unfortunately, I think we're drawing to the close of this lovely session. I do know there are a few more questions coming in. I think, Tara, probably we can do another 2 more questions before we wrap up.
Yes, 2 more would be fine. So can you please explain the pillar 1 about the profit bottom line and the top line and the topmost line again, if you don't mind?
So pillar number 1 is all of us as leaders today have to practice this triple bottom line mindset. If you do not know what triple bottom line, now you might be very young, in understanding this. Every business is managed by 3 tiers. 1 is a revenue tier. Everyone wants to achieve a revenue. Otherwise, you don't have a business. Once you do a revenue, you need to have a profit. So these are top line and bottom line. The topmost line is you build franchises. You being a consumer franchise. You are investing on a consumer where consumer will bring in the money. So you need to do some R&D things. You need to introduce new products, that and these. These are all governed by the future mindsets. That is called consumer franchise. Now today, take McDonald's for an example. Today they have gone into the consumer franchise. They're franchising partners, and partners are bringing their businesses. And they also have lost the count. The company of McDonald's have lost the count of outlets they have. That is a kind of a consumer franchise that I'm saying. So that's triple bottom line. So today the norm is triple bottom line. Use this language in all what you do. If you can go and tell your boss, anyone, I do have a triple bottom line mindset. But again, don't use it in the wrong place and say that, you know, without a top, there is no bottom. Without a bottom, there is no top. Right? So, but anyway, find a way to, you know, understand in the way. But triple bottom line is the word which now today people all use as a language to, you know, govern their businesses. So that's my answer to them, Tara.
Thank you. Thank you. And also one last question, sir. How do you balance your family life with your corporate life? I think that's a problem most of us have when it comes to.
I always take the family also as a company that I have to manage. So I have appointed the difficult person called the chairperson. That's my wife, to manage the home and company. So I give all those things and I have empowered her to do. And then, you know, the kids and all. And thankfully for the COVID, since I'm going out and all, so I'm not locked and key. So I'm in a room. So I take maximum precautions. So I have two daughters. One is 13 and other one is 4. So how you could manage the corporate life and the family life is to empower the family in their day-to-day things. You need to empower your wife to manage the home front. And if you try to do that, is where the conflict comes. So I have given up and, you know, manage that. And then basically, you know, I know to draw the lines. And, you know, if you could think in that angle, it has fairly worked well. And then to be with the family and all. And I always remember my father also, you know, practices this. You know, in estates, we have this call, we have dinner in one table, in the same table. Right. So because of the COVID, we don't do, but if that's the best time to, you know, ignite the family, right? Practice that. In the good old days, our ancestors have taught a lot of things, Tara. We are not doing now. We are absolute robotics. If people have not doing this, tell your parents, you know, let's have one meal together, right? And this really connects your family. It's like, you know, we have the luncheons in boardroom and all those things, but answer to them is everything, you know, how you could delegate and empower and appoint the person in the family to run that space. If you think in that, you know, company mindset, I think you can balance things very well. Otherwise, if you try to do all those things, of course, we have certain parts to do, right? As imagine now, take me outside, imagine if there's a lady who's a corporate leader who is managing. Now, where that lady would be, right? She will never try to, you know, delegate this to the husband. So then they will get another team to manage the home front end. So it's all about that. So that's a little thing, you know, it's all about how you could, you know, manage the ecosystem and delegate to do things. Yeah.